What's going on YouTube? Claykeys back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius guide. This time we're trying to take down Maxwell, the newest trial boss kind of event going on with the Brave Frontier collab. She's really hard, guys. For when you try to invoke and actually obtain her, we'll go over the different strategies that are used for that. I'm going to try to use a free-to-play team, although using a free-to-play team is saying one thing and then using a really pay-to-play win friend is another, and you're going to need one of those. So guys, if you haven't gotten one, you're going to want to go out there and search for one. But I'm going to go over what abilities Maxwell has, what her weaknesses are, what you shouldn't bring into the fight. I'll go over the team I took, and then the strategy I used to invoke and finally actually unlock Maxwell. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so Maxwell is more of like a rhythm fight. It's kind of like a mechanics fight. You're a boxer in the ring, and every 4 turns, that's when Maxwell's going to throw her haymaker at you, and you got to know how to prepare for it and guard. So essentially, we're going to go through a 1, 2, 3, 4 turn order, and you have to remember it in your head. There are a lot of buffs and things like that you need to remember to keep up on yourself and debuff her. So, yeah, I'll give you a rhythm that you guys should go through. Turn 1, she's going to cast Genesis, which is one of her moves. Genesis does AoE light damage to everyone and lowers your attack and defense by 20% for 2 turns. This ability doesn't hit that hard, but the problem is it is lowering your attack and defense by 20%. So in turn 1, you want to use this turn. So you're active, you're going on the first turn. I think you want to use this turn to, you know, build up limit burst meter, build up evoke meter, do as much damage as you want to. You don't really have to buff this turn, as, you know, her little tiny Genesis she's going to do to you turn 1 isn't going to do that much damage. But on turn 2, now that your attack and defense have been lowered, that's when you want to buff. Use things like Cheer, Embolden, Omnivel with the COD. Use Focus, Provoke with your tanks. Full break the Maxwell. You know, you need to make sure you full break, because on turn 2, she's going to cast Genesis a couple times, and then she's going to throw in auto attacks. And it's not just like, bam, auto attack. It looks like she's like going nuts on you with like karate chop. She's like going at you hard, and it does a lot of damage if it hits one of your squishies. So it's very important to have Provoke on your tank at this point. You know, have all your magic defense up. Omnivel, put your light defense up, so you just don't take that much damage in the end, so you don't have to buff yourself up. So that's turn 2 and 3. So turn 1, you're just going to do whatever you need to do, whatever you want. Turn 2, you want to make sure your buffs are up. Then you want to do damage. And turn 3 is just a damaging, healing up. Now, after you finish your turn 3, and then Maxwell gets done beating you in the face, it comes turn 4. So now we're on turn 4, and what's going to happen is she's going to use 2 abilities. They're called Rune, and then they're called Sacred Song, okay, guys? And what these abilities do is Rune is going to mass dispel your whole team. So all those buffs and those nice, awesome things you put on your characters, they're wiped out. She does that immediately. And then Rune also does some light damage to everyone, so yeah, she's gonna do light damage and dispel you, so it's just gonna suck. Like your boosts don't matter at all anymore. And then she's gonna do something called Sacred Song. She's gonna increase her own attack by 50% for 2 turns, decrease the defense of 50% and the light resist for 2 turns to all of you. So all of us get 50% defense debuff, 50% light debuff. So now, you know, we've gotten everything dispelled off of us, and now we go down by 50% defense, 50% light resist, and yeah. So that's what's going to happen to you. And then she's going to throw in some auto attacks and could throw in some Genesis too. It's crazy. Turn 4 is insane. So when you get to turn 4, this is what you want to do. Make sure everybody's healed up, and that could be done by your tank Cecil. That could be done by your tank Warrior of Light, maybe using Cura, because we haven't taken that much damage up to this turn 4. And then everybody else needs to defend, dude. And you got to pray. You got to pray Cecil does his job and jumps in front of somebody with his shield and just saves them, because she does tons of damage here. But then after you get through turn 4, there's a recovery turn. However, remember, you need to dispel Maxwell, because she did buff herself up by 50%. So what you want to do is you want to you either want to use a Holy Torch on her to dispel her, or use the actual ability to dispel, but don't use full break first, because remember, we want to full break her again, because dispel will also get rid of full break. So what you want to do is you want to dispel her after turn 4, dispel her, then full break her, heal your team up, cast your buffs back on, and then repeat the rhythm. You're in there, you know, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, defend, and then keep going like that. And that's how the fight's going to go. Now, there are other abilities that happen with HP thresholds that we're going to go over, but that's the main thing you got to get in your head. Turn 1, little crappy Genesis. Turn 2, Genesis, some auto attacks. Hits a little harder. Turn 3, same thing. Genesis, auto attacks. Turn 4, mega dick swinging Rune, Sacred Song, I'm a badass, shit on your team, and you guys need to be defending, okay? So now let's go over her HP thresholds and what else you have to look out for. Something I forgot to mention in the past little excerpt there. She does have an ability called Destiny. I thought it was an HP threshold, but it's actually just a turn 5 ability. What Destiny's going to do is a mad light HP damage. to one person, and if that person isn't a tank, they may die just from this one ability. So guys, that's turn 5. So after turn 4 of all that ass beating, turn 5 Destiny's being cast, and you definitely want to have Provoke up. I think Provoke can draw it to the tank, but other than that, like, Destiny will kick your ass. So I forgot to mention that in the last one because I thought it was an HP threshold, but it's not. So remember that, guys. Okay, so now let's go over the HP thresholds here. She has the ability to cast Meteor, but it's not like the Meteor we're used to. It's light fixed damage. So it's going to do damage, it's fixed damage, it's going to do that much damage no matter what. I think light resist can affect it, but as far as like, I think Spirit and stuff like that, it doesn't matter. And she's going to do that to one enemy, and she's going to use that when she's below 60% HP, and then she can randomly cast it when she's below 30% HP, okay? So what you want to look out for is after you pass the 60 HP threshold, is somebody's getting Meteor, and it's going to be max damage. So, mass damage, excuse me. So you want to kind of try to time this with when she's on one of her turn 1, turn 2, turn 3s, so that when you're in that rhythm and she does accidentally throw that jab in there at you with that Meteor, it's not going to catch you off guard and knock you out, okay? So it's something you want to look out for. She also has the ability to heal herself a couple times with this ability called Resurrection. She's going to do physical damage to one ally, and then she's going to heal herself, excuse me, by 100,000, and this is only cast once when she gets below 50% HP, so that's pretty good there. Not too bad. The physical damage multiplier is pretty high on it though, but the healing 100,000 isn't that big of a deal. I think overall you guys can overcome that, and she only casts it once. She also has this awesome ability called Endless. She casts after she is below 30% HP, and the animation for it is amazing. If you haven't seen it, I would just try to go in and look at it, because the words pop up on the screen, it starts chanting something, and your team takes a ton of damage, and it hurts, guys. Light magic damage. So now we've gone from physical damage to magic damage. 5 times multiplier to all allies. It wrecks you. It hits really hard, and remember, it happens after the 30% HP threshold. So if you're doing this and you're going slow and you're breaking the thresholds, remember, that's the point where you need to watch out for Endless, is when you get below 30% HP. Also, she can randomly cast Meteor, like we said above, at 30% HP, so it's kind of rough. So if you want to push her past the 30% HP threshold, you better be ready to burn her down, because at that point, it's just too much damage is coming at you. And then she has Revival. She'll cast when she's below 20% HP, or she'll just heal herself for 120 HP, excuse me, 1000 HP, which is a little bit more than the other one, but not too massive. You're more worried about the damage she can do to you, okay? So yeah, those are the HP thresholds, guys, and that's how the fight works. Overall, you probably might want to rewind this video, learn it yourself, like go down, maybe even write it down and understand where she's going to be doing these HP thresholds, where I need to be in the fight, you know, during the rhythm of the 1, 2, 3, 4 haymaker, and then the turn 5 she'll throw a jab in there with Destiny. Just be ready for that. Now we're going to go over the team I'm taking in, the items I want to take in, and then the strategy I'm going to use to invoke Diablos. Okay, there are 2 strategies you can take into this fight, one being that you just slowly rhythm it, you slowly build your summoning meter, your Esper invoke meter, and you take your time. You go in on turns 1, 2, 3, 4, guard, 1, 2, 3, 4, guard, heal, do attacks, slowly build up that meter, and once it gets full, use it and then beat the boss down. That is one of the strategies that you guys can use. However, I think as a, you know, having weaker units, things like that, that is a much harder strategy to actually obtain than just cheesing it in a way. So we're going to talk about the Rydia strategy and what this strategy is. And as you can see, we have Rydia here. You use Rydia, and her limit burst ability, her limit break ability, will fill up your Esper gauge by a lot. Not all the way full if you don't have it leveled up, but you know, the lower levels, it still fills it up by like 3/4 of the way. It's amazing. So what we do is we have Rydia here. You want to build her as tanky as possible, because she's not here really to do a lot of damage. She's more or less here to survive the first 3 turns, and then by turn 3 use her limit break, because she may die on that turn 4. Even if you defend and she has full health, she still can die because she's so squishy. Her HP pool isn't very high. But our main focus here is to use Rydia in order to fill up our Esper gauge and beat the boss down as fast as possible. Fill up your Esper gauge quickly, use Diablos, and then kill it before you have to worry about doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over and over again, because it is a grind. The next character you can see here is something you're going to need on your team is a full break unit. I'm using Warrior of Light. However, Van, Agrius, you know, Ingus is still usable, because you just really need to use that full break, especially with the strategy, because we're going to be trying to nuke the boss down as fast as possible. We just need that full break there so they don't do as much damage to us. Or Maxwell doesn't do that much damage to us when she swings back. And if you guys didn't know, full break will lower the attack, magic, defense, and spirit of the opponent by 30% for 3 turns. And this is very important here, and not so much for breaking the defense, because we're going to use an Elza friend to break the defense even further, in my opinion, is a better option. But we need that attack and magic down so that Maxwell doesn't swing and just one-hit KO us. So that's why I'm using Warrior of Light. You guys can use any of those other full break units. It seems like a good strategy there. We also need a healer, right? So we're going to be using Refia, as she is the best healer in global at a 4-star base. I think a lot of people do have her. But if you don't have Refia, you can still use Lena here. It's not a bad option to use Lena. We just need a healer who can use Cheer and then Kiraja us back up when we need it. Refia has it easier because she has a higher HP pool. You can see I threw some muscle belts on her thanks to a suggestion from a viewer. It really helped out. The muscle belts helped give her a little bit more HP so she could survive a little bit more. But overall, this spot right here is just your healer. You know, having Dispel on your healer is awesome because we are going to have to Dispel Maxwell. You know, having the raise on Refia obviously is good if you need a raise, but Lena is also usable. But you want Cheer, you want Kiraja, and you want Dispel on your healer, and that's why I chose, you know, Refia. You can use Lena, you can use White Witch Finna, which is also good. White Witch Finna is actually pretty damn good because she has the ability in Trust, where she can just throw her fill up Riddy's Limit Break even faster if you guys want to use that. I think Garnet has something similar to that too, so those are all options for you guys. Just look into it, whatever healer you have, try to look to see what the best strategy is for you and what your healer can do. So you guys know I was using Warrior of Light, but he's not my main tank. I'm using Cecil as my main tank in here. You guys are going to need a tank, so let's say instead of Warrior of Light, you're using Agrius or Van or Ingus, things like that. You're going to need a main tank, and I love Cecil. He's our 6-star tank healer. He came in at 3-star base. He was pretty easy to obtain at that point. He has Kiraja, he has Dispel, he has Focus. You can throw Provoke on him with the Golem, and even more important than that, this guy has massive light resist. Like, he has massive passive light resist, and that's what Maxwell does. Tons of light damage. So he's going to be really tanky for you. He's going to be really good. As far as like who you should put Diablos on, Diablos gives you that negative impact to your light resist, making it harder to carry the burden of, you know, carrying Diablos for this fight, because Maxwell will do more damage to whoever you put Diablos on. Some people say use the strategy of putting Diablos on Cecil as he can carry the load, right, because he has all that light resist. However, I think Provoke on Cecil is more powerful. I think it's better to do it that way, strictly because of our strategy, the way our strategy is going to work out. We're going to burn the boss down. But more importantly, overall, you know, him being able to guard in front of someone and provoke, things like that, it's very important, and I think Golem does that for Cecil. So that's why I chose to put Golem on Cecil. You guys may choose to put Diablos on him, that's up to you, but Cecil's a great unit here. You guys can use other tank units too, but this is my choice for the fight. And last but not least, we have Cloud of Dankness, the Call of Duty. She is very important to this fight. She can do massive damage to the Maxwell using her Dark ability, her Barrage, and then she has Omnivel, which is very important. Omnivel is going to boost everybody's elemental resist up by, I think, 30%, so it's going to put your light resist up, making her Genesis and everything like that do less damage to you, right? So Omnivel, very important. COD is very important to this fight. She's on a banner right now. She's a 3-star base. She is fighting against 2 other 3-star bases on this banner, but guys, if you don't have her, that's why I was saying to save your summon tickets, man, from the BF banner, because COD, like, some banner drops like this and you need COD in your life. You need this wife in your life. You definitely need her. So I think she's very important to the fight, and that's who you should take. Now let's talk about what friend unit I'm going to be taking. I am going to choose Elza, and you guys need to find the strongest Elza you can find. Now I'm not saying you can't do it without Elza. I'm just saying Elza makes it easier, and here's why. Elza has the ability to break down the Maxwell spirit and defense by 50%, making it easier for us to zerg them down. Also, she has a great ability that hits, I think, 6 times with dual wield, which is what you're looking for. Again, we're looking for a huge well friend to help us beat this fight, because guys, this fight is hard. It's like, it's overtuned in my opinion. I don't know. You do need a friend to help you if you guys didn't get lucky enough to pull any 5-star base units or have a really strong team. You need a friend to help you if you don't have any TMs, better equipment, things like that. So we're gonna choose Elza. She's gonna use her ability to knock the defensive spirit down by 50%, and that's what we're gonna use in the fight, guys. So look for an Elza if you can. And then now I'm gonna show you how I fought it. There's one mistake where I don't understand, guys, but I cannot use Refia right now. I'm very new to her, and I always try to use Kiraja, but it's Kiraga in that place. I ended up healing one person. You guys will see in the video where I heal one person. We'll go over it. And then, like, my Google Play stops working halfway through this video, and I just laughed. I was like, whatever. We beat the boss. We're playing the video, and that's how it's gonna go. So let's get into the strategy so I can show you guys how to do it. We also need to talk about what items we're gonna bring. So I'll show you guys that now. Essentially, you want to bring Holy Torches, because sometimes you can't dispel with the units that you have dispel on already, right? They need to be curing, provoking, raising someone up. things like that. So having Holy Torch to be able to use on one of your physical damage dealers, or maybe Iridia who's not doing anything, would be great to dispel the Maxwell in the end here. So maybe Holy Torches are on there, Phoenix Downs to raise up people from the dead, Elixirs are always nice, Ethers are always nice, Turbo Ethers, and you want to get Hypers, excuse me. If you guys didn't know what Hyper does, is it increases the limit burst fill rate on a character when you use it on them. And then we're going to be using it on Iridia to try to get our Esper, Evoke meter up, right? So Iridia's limit burst puts up our Evoke meter very high. Using Turbo makes her get that even, not Turbo, excuse me, I always want to say Turbo. Hyper makes it go up even faster, and that's going to be our strategy here. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw a Hyper on her. She's going to fill up her limit break as fast as possible. We're going to pop Diablos as fast as possible, and then we're just going to go to town. Remember, Maxwell is a human, so human killer passives, things like that. That's why COD is so good. Elza's so good. It's going to work wonders for us. If you guys don't have enough Hypers, you run out, there is a recipe you can get from an Earthshrine key, so you can make more, and it's not that hard to make them. The craft isn't that bad. You guys can look that up on the wiki if you need to. I'll have a link to the actual mission down below. And so yeah, I'm going to go over the fight and show you guys how to do it, and hopefully all of you can take down Maxwell and actually get the unit. Alright guys, so now we're going to get into the fight, my actual recording. I'm going to watch over it and give you guys some commentary because I'm the best sportscaster out there. So we're going to pick a friend here again, like I said, Elza. I see that we have DSM. He's one of my moderators from my stream, and he's got all this kick-ass gear on. He's perfect. I love him. Let's get in there and use that Elza because that's what we want. So we choose him. That's what we're going to go with here. I'm pretty excited because we have some mistakes coming up, and I hope you guys laugh at them at what I do. But at first, again, we want to use Barrage to try to build up our Invoke meter and build up our Limit Burst meter, and we're going to put Hyper on Iridia first and foremost because we need to build her up too, her Limit Burst. I think about full breaking here, but then I'm like, nah, I'm going to use Ravaging Blow instead because I want to burn the boss down as fast as possible, and having that defense down is a big deal. And on turn 1, you don't have to really worry about being hit too much. Again, I even think about using Provoke, but then I'm like, never mind, I just want to auto get as many Limit Burst crystals as I can, build up my Evoke meter as best I can, because turn 1 isn't that big of a deal. Cloud of Darkness is using Barrage. Barrage is a very good ability to be able to build your Evoke meter. As you saw, it jumped up really high. And that was turn 1. Now we're on turn 2, so I'm going to go ahead and use Embolden. You guys can use Cheer here. Warrior of Light's going to full break because now the Maxwell's going to do a ton of damage. And here's the unfortunate Google Play stop mess up, but I was like, screw it. I want to keep trying, dude, because I'm having fun playing anyway. And I thought about using Provoke, but I'm like, wait, I need a Kiraja. Already is going down, and I didn't want to have to waste an Elixir. So I think about using Elza's Madness Rush, and I was like, nah, maybe not, but I think I end up doing it anyway. Again, this is all things I'm thinking in my head, like, how do I want to do this? So, see, I'm almost clicking Elza. You see me, like, almost clicking it, and then I'm like, let's go ahead and use it. We need to burn this guy down. So we're going to use it. We use Barrage, and we just attack with Iridia. And as you can see, our Limit Burst meter for Iridia is almost all the way full, and that's just 2 turns. And that's the goal, guys, and the strategy is to have it full by your turn 4 before she has to blow up. That way, that if Iridia would die, you've already cast her Limit Burst. So now you can see that, we used Genesis was used on us, and then she just started auto-attacking all over the place. I got kind of lucky that Iridia didn't die. That you can see me circling it scared. It's full, so we're going to use Leviathan, and our Evoke meter's already full. So this is our chance to go hard in the paint. We're going to go ahead and evoke it because as soon as we can, we're like, hell yes, let's do that. I'm going to use Kiraga, and this is where I make the mistake. I'm like, I'm using Kiraja, and then I'm like, should I heal with Cecil? I don't know. Let's see how much Refia heals for. Why didn't she heal for anything? Oh yeah, I use Kiraga because I suck, and that's just something I need to get over. So it's good that we have Warrior of Light to help our Cecil out to be able to heal our team up, because I'm an idiot. So we're going to go ahead and cast Diablo, and then we're going to cast Madness Rush and heal up our team. Bada bing, bada boom. We're passing HP threshold, so at this point, Meteor is going to be cast on us. We're messing her up on her timing, because if you pass HP thresholds, it'll reset her timing order. She doesn't know what's happening. She's like, stop hitting me in the face so hard. And then here's Resurrection being cast, and then she's just going to start auto-attacking people, casting Meteor. She's all bugging out. She doesn't know what's happening. And so that was supposed, like, we just pushed her so hard that she's just bonkers. So Ravaging Blow is off of her, so we're going to go ahead and cast Ravaging Blow again. I'm going to use Provoke at this point because I can, and it'll help me like pull the damage to my tank, which is what I want. I'm going to cast Kiraja with my healer. Now that Iridia can actually do something here and use Meteor because she's already done her Limit Burst, so that's awesome. And we're going to use Call of the Void with our Well, the reason we didn't use Call of the Void with Cloud of Darkness before was because we wanted to build up our Esper Gauge and our Limit Burst, but now we're using Call of the Void because it's the most damaging. Look how much damage we do here with Meteor and all this. You see how that big chunk it just took? So strong, and that is from a TM, a non-TM, non-weld out Cloud of Darkness, and look how cool this is. This move is amazing. It does a lot of damage. You can see me circling Elsa. I'm like, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. She died, so that kind of sucks. And here I'm like, all right, well, let's full break. Let's go ahead and use Call of the Void again because that's going to do a lot of damage. Refia, I was like, what should I do here? I was like, I'll probably use full heal on Elsa. But then I was like, wait, Refia can heal better than Cecil, so why don't we use a Phoenix down on our Elsa and then use Refia to heal? And then I wanted to check and make sure that it didn't have to dispel. Again, she's bugging out because we're passing the HP thresholds, so I wasn't sure if she boosted herself up. So make sure you guys check that and check your own buffs. So we use the Phoenix down, we use Kiraja, and then we use full break, and then we just use the Cloud of Darknesses. Look how much damage that was, and that was just with a normal Cloud of Darkness, guys. Very, very powerful stuff with the Maneater, Maneater Plus, and Diablos on her. Just so much Maneater stackage is amazing. And then, you know, that was an easy turn right there. Nothing much happened. So I was like, that's it. Time to go Super Saiyan. Time to knock her out. You know, we're going to use the Dark ability from Cloud of Darkness. We're going to use the Madness Rush. And then I was like, I'll hold off with Refia and Warrior of Light to see, like, how much damage I do, to see how I need to recover. But the damage was just too great. DSM and the Cloud of Darkness takes it down. Elsa kills it. And we did it, guys. So we end up getting Maxwell here. And this is the strategy I think you guys can use. Everyone out there should be able to do this. All you have to do is go to Reddit, come in my community on my Twitch stream. You know, find a friend who is really powerful. Elsa's the best choice in my opinion, and get in there and beat its ass. Just use your Rydia. I'm sure a lot of you guys have Rydias. I'm sure you're sick of pulling Rydias, and that's the way it goes. I really hope that you guys can take this boss down. I understand that it's rough for you. A lot of people are getting really frustrated with Gumi with this fight, because guys, let's talk about this for a minute. This fight didn't come out in, like, so in the Japanese version it was this banner and this event. Without minus Elsa, because Elsa is a global exclusive. And then 4 or 5 months down the road, I think it was like 3 or 4 months, excuse me, they made another banner, and that's when Maxwell came out. And they actually didn't tune her down very much. So we don't have Bart 6-star, X-Death 6-star. I'm not sure if Warrior of Light, Shizuru 6-stars were out, but those are things that could have boosted up. You could have boosted your guys' accounts up, free-to-play players, with 6-stars and made you guys be able to take this easier. And they didn't give us that time. They didn't give us anything to compensate. They gave us Dark Destroyers, and the only one out of there you want to use on this fight is pretty much Cloud of Darkness. And if you have a DKC, you can use that too. It's pretty strong to the dark damage, but you know, because she's weak to dark damage. But you know, who's gonna pull a 5-star and call themselves, you know, that's lucky. That's lucky, right? So, you know, guys, just keep your heads up, keep your spirits up. I don't want you guys quitting the game on me. There's going to be cooler things in the future. This was a bad release by Gumi. They didn't think it out. They thought Dark Destroyers would save us. What? But hopefully you guys can use this kind of cheesy Rydia shit to help you out and get through this, get Maxwell, get that TM, because that TM is juicy, and just move on and just forget about this whole ordeal. If this video helped you out, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Tell me how frustrated you are with Maxwell. Tell me, you know, just tell me whatever you want to about this fight, and subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, at least they're not screwing us over. Well, no, take it back. I think I heard something though, because the first week that the previous though, or the event that's currently going on right now, excluding, you know, the trial part. The first week,